What's up everyone? Hope you're doing well today. My name is Qasim and today I want to share with you all some of my favorite features of iOS 15. So I've had the developer beta on my phone for about a week now and I've just been observing things I like, things I don't like, so I could share them with all of you. Before we start, check in the description down below so that you guys can jump to your desired section of the video. So first and foremost, let's start at the lock screen with notifications. Now when you get a notification in iOS 15, the app icon or the contact picture or the contact emoji that you have set is going to be larger. So now just looking at it from a distance, you're able to see what notification it is that you got. So I really like that touch. Now also I noticed that swiping from left to right on a notification no longer actually opens the app. So you guys know, you swipe from left to right to open up a message or any notification and it jumps into that app. That no longer works. Instead, you have to actually tap on it to actually get into the app or message or whatever notification you got. Another thing I observed and really liked is the muting suggestions option that your iPhone gives you now. This is cool because it realizes that you're not paying attention to, let's say, a group chat that has suddenly gotten so many notifications. So it'll ask you if you want to mute it for a day, for an hour, or for a suggested time period, or until tomorrow. You can just kind of tap on it from the lock screen and just adjust that real quick right from there. I've often experienced this. You'll be doing something, you'll be in the middle of working and a group chat decides to pop off for some reason and you're just getting notification after notification, and I'll quickly go in and silent my phone just to prevent that from happening, or I'll put the actual conversation on mute for a little while. So just having this at the lock screen is a great option. Now another thing I really like, guys, is that when you're in Do Not Disturb or one of the new focus modes, the entire lock screen is dimmed out. So for example, I noticed previously where I'd have my phone in Do Not Disturb and it's sitting on the table. And what I like to do is I'll still tap it. I'll tap it to see what kind of notifications have come in, and you can see right there in front of you which notifications have come through. What I like about focus mode and the new Do Not Disturb lock screen is just the fact that it's all grayed out. So even if you are tapping on the screen, you're not going to see a notification and you're not going to be tempted to open it up and check on what's going on. Now with this, I actually want to jump into the settings to just kind of show you guys how focus works and how it can be customized. So from your home screen, open the settings app. If you scroll down, instead of Do Not Disturb now, you're going to see focus. So if you select this, inside here, you're going to see Do Not Disturb at the top, and then a couple of focus options for you. Now you can create your own, and you can just customize it to your liking, but I'm going to go into the work one and show you guys what I've got set up. So if I tap on work, now here right at the top, you can choose which people are allowed. So you'll see that I've allowed my dad, my brother, sister, wife, and my mom. And then you could tap on apps, and this will show you which apps are allowed to send you notifications. Now what's nice about this is that all these things that you've selected, these notifications will be able to come through, but the rest of the notifications are just going to be delivered silently. Now underneath this, you have an option for time-sensitive notifications. Now what this is going to do is that if in a message or if in a notification, your iPhone determines a time and urgency, it's going to still deliver that to you. Simply because, like, let's say I get a message from my wife saying to check up on Buddy's food at 3 o'clock. Buddy is my dog, so if the iPhone notices that time, it's going to pass that notification through to me. Now she's on my allowed list anyway, but that's just an example. Now, right underneath that, you have share focus status. So what this does is that if you're messaging someone or you're trying to talk to someone that has a focus on, it's going to show you right there at the bottom that this person is using focus. Now, there also is an option for you to notify the person anyway. For example, my friend Aaron is also on iOS 15, and we've kind of been messaging back and forth with focus on, and I'll send him a notification anyway, even when I see his focus is on. So I know that it's going to still get delivered. Now, another cool thing inside here is home screen. So if we tap into that, you'll see custom pages. Now, what's cool about this, guys, is that you can actually eliminate some of the pages. So if we go into choose pages, you'll see that I have the first page only selected. So let's do this. Let's go to my home screen, and you'll see that right now I can swipe through the different home screen pages without any issue. But let's turn on this focus, and now if we actually go to my home screen, you'll notice that right as I swipe from this home screen that I've allowed, it's going to jump me to the app library. So you can still access your other apps, but the whole idea here is that you have the home screen that you want to see so that you can focus on the things that you want to focus on. All right, so next let's move into the Messages app. Now what's cool right here is that if you jump into a conversation, right away you're going to notice there's a FaceTime icon in the top right. So this is nice that you can just start a FaceTime call by simply tapping on this button. The other thing I like is that where you have the contact name, previously you'd have to tap on it to show info or to see the contact details, to call them, etc. But now if you just tap on the person's name, it opens up all their information. It shows you everything they've sent you and whatnot. So I really like that feature. Now, another thing that's nice is that when somebody sends you a bunch of pictures, you no longer have to scroll to the top. So let's say somebody sent you 10 photos. They actually come in a stack, and it's neat and it's organized. You can tap on it, you can swipe through them, and you've even got a little save button on the side so you don't have to press and hold on a photo or go into the photo options in order to save it. So I like that. It's simplifying the clutter a little bit. Now, another thing I really like is the fact that you can simply drag and drop a photo into notes. So for example, let's say you got a picture from a friend, you want to drag that into the Notes app, you can simply hold on it and drag it, open the Notes app. It is two-hand operation, but just the fact that you can do it, it's pretty cool. Another cool thing is the translate option within the Messages app. So if you get a message that is supported by Apple's Translate app, you'll be able to translate it to English or whatever language that you want. So if you press and hold on a message, you'll see that you get a translate option. If you select this, then here you're going to be able to copy the translation, see the translation, hear the translation by pressing the play button, or you can even change and choose your language that you want it translated to. So this I found to be a nice addition. Now, last but not least is shared with you. What's cool is that now photos, articles, anything that you get here within the Messages app, it'll correspond when you open the Photos app, when you open the News app, and it's going to tell you who sent it to you. And what's nice is right from there, you can reply to the person, like the message, etc. I'm actually going to show you with the Safari app because that is what we're moving to now. Now with Safari, one of the things I really like is the custom start page. Right at the top, you're going to see all your favorites. So it'll have all your favorite websites, and you can easily just tap on one of those and get going. If we scroll down a little bit is where you find shared with you. Now here is going to be all the articles that a friend or anyone has sent you through messages or anywhere else. So it picks up those links and brings them into here. Now what's nice about this, guys, is that if you tap on the contact, after reading the article, you can actually just go back into the Messages app where this article was sent. You can like it, you can reply to it, you can do whatever you want, which is really nice because so many times it happens to me that I'm sent an article from someone and I'm like, you know what, I will check this out later. But then we continue through conversation and the day goes on and you totally forget about it until they ask you, and that's when you're like, oh, I forgot to check that. So having these here is a really nice touch. Now, also another thing you guys can do is if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can tap on edit. Now here what's cool is that you can change your background image and you can choose what things you want shown here on your start page. So with background image, it has a bunch of defaults and it also gives you the choice to go in and choose your own photo. Now you'll notice here at the bottom is where you actually have your search bar. This was actually quite weird for me at the beginning because I'd be wanting to tap at the top, but I've gotten used to it. This is going to be a nice touch for, especially for people that have those larger phones. They're going to be able to just tap down here and type in the website that they want to visit. And what's nice is that hopefully they'll bring this type of feature to other apps so that you can quickly just tap with one finger at the bottom and go on about doing your thing. Now to the right of the search bar is where you have tabs. And I actually want to show you group tabs. So first off, if you want to switch between tabs, you can literally just swipe between the two. And if you swipe between the two, what's nice is that you can go from one tab to the other. Now what's also nice is group tabs. So if you tap on the bottom here and we see my Apple tab, here I've got a bunch of things open related to Apple. So I can just organize things that I'm researching or things that I'm doing. So if you were researching for a paper and you wanted to create a tab that was for research, you could organize all those different websites within that group tab. This is really nice. So these are a few things I've really liked about the Safari app. And now let's move on to photos. Now with photos, guys, one of the coolest things that Apple talked about is live text and photos. So if you've got a photo of notes or anything, you'll simply be able to select the text in there and copy it and put it into a note. So in order to test this out, I took a picture of one of my YouTube video descriptions, and you'll see here, if I just simply hold down my finger, I can literally grab the text out of here and I can copy it and I can go and paste this into a new note. And it actually does a really good job. What will be interesting though is that seeing it capture different handwritings. For example, let's say your professor writes in cursive or something, or has really sloppy writing. Like how well is that going to translate into text that you can copy into a note? So that'll be something to look out for, but just being able to do that, that is really cool. Now, another cool thing about photos is that if we swipe up on this same photo, you'll see a bunch of new data. So this tells you that this was taken with my iPhone 12 mini. It gives you the resolution, it gives you the size of the image, and so on. This is actually pretty cool because sometimes it happens with me to where I don't know if I shot the right video or right photo in the right aspect ratio and whatnot. And in order to figure that out, I can simply just swipe up on a photo and get more details. Now, another cool thing in photos is the ability to drag and drop. So I talked about this with the Messages app. So from your library, you can literally press and hold on a photo and drag it. And using your second hand, you could open a note and just drop this in. And now that photo from the library has been dropped into a note. So this is cool. I think this is going to really be useful on things like an iPad. But just being able to do it on your phone, still pretty cool. Now, speaking of all these photos, this brings me to the camera. Now, one of the coolest things about the camera is the fact that it can actually read text. It is really awesome. I've been playing around with it a lot, and for the most part, it does a good job. But like I said with photos, it's going to be the same here. Like, let's say you take a picture of your professor's notes and they're a little sloppy. I think there's going to be a little bit of error, but the fact that you can do this with the camera is pretty sweet because I've been playing around with it and it's really cool. All right, so let's move on to FaceTime. Now, this was one that Apple spent a lot of time on, and that's for good reason. There's a bunch of new features, and let's start with portrait mode. This one is pretty cool because just like portrait mode for the camera, you can now blur out the background. I was talking to my brother who lives in New Jersey the other day, and I was showing off the portrait mode, and he was like, dude, this is so cool, because he sees his colleagues from work do this all the time with Zoom. Now, in order to turn on portrait mode, all you've got to do is from the top right, swipe down, and then under video effects at the very top, you'll see portrait mode, and you can tap this to turn it on and off. Now this is cool because you get this option right at the top when you're in a FaceTime call. Now next I want to talk about the microphone modes. This is also found right here when you're in a call. What's cool about this, and this is something again I tried the other day, is that you have standard mode, which is just standard, but then you have voice isolation. So what this is going to do is reduce the background noise that's going on in your call. And I tried this with my brother and he said it makes a big difference. Now with wide spectrum, that's exactly the opposite. It's going to let in all the noise. Everything that's happening within your environment is going to be passed on to the next person. And while I was in the car, he was like, I can hear your AC, I can hear your car, I can hear everything. So this is really nice to see that it's been added into FaceTime. Now another cool thing about FaceTime is the ability to create links and invite people. You can do this right from the FaceTime app and send a link to someone. But what's really nice is that if we go into the calendar and let's say we create a new event called Family Call, and we set this for starting at 7 p.m. Now, right underneath the event name, you're going to see location or video call. If you tap on this, you'll see FaceTime, and now it's going to add that into the calendar as an event, but you'll be able to share this link. So if we tap on the event and we open it up, you can share the link and send it to a family group or a friend or whoever you want to, and they'll be able to join that FaceTime call at that specific time. So this, again, like Zoom, is a very nice feature. Now within FaceTime, guys, you also have a bunch of other features, like a new grid view for when a bunch of people are talking. I unfortunately haven't been able to get a group together to test this out, but I'm sure that it's going to be nice. You also have Share Play, which is not working at the moment. So this is where you'll be able to watch a movie with a friend or listen to a soundtrack with a friend. This is really cool, and these are things that I'll be able to test out once we have the final iOS 15 version. Now, last but not least, I want to talk about Siri. Now, what's cool is that Siri actually works in offline mode. So she's limited because you can only do things like alarms, timers, things that you don't need an internet connection for, but having that ability is really nice, that you don't need an internet connection to get her working. Another cool thing I really like is that if you're on a web page, if you just ask Siri to send it to someone, she will share it automatically with someone. So if it's a photo, if it's a web page, she can do that. Now, another thing that's cool is that if she sees that whatever you're looking at can't actually be shared, like if it's not a photo or if it's not a web page, then what she'll do is she'll actually take a screenshot and send it to someone. So if I was looking at a particular setting in my phone, then I could ask Siri to send it to someone and she'll take a quick screenshot and forward it to someone. Alright guys, so these were the things that I've observed in just 1 week with the developer beta of iOS 15. I honestly don't recommend you guys download it. There's a bunch of bugs. For example, Safari freezes up all the time. Certain apps are not going to work. So if you've got a phone that you need on a daily basis, don't put a developer beta. I've noticed that the public betas are much better to play around with. Those are much more stable. So honestly, it's up to you if you really want to get it, but I don't suggest it. Now there's a bunch of other features. Like if I had to literally sit here and go through every little feature, we'd be here for a really long time, but these are just the major things that I've observed and I've really enjoyed so far. And like that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below with any questions or anything that you'd like to say. And most importantly, guys, Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next video.